Can you hear me?
Just about.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to fall off. I also make animation puppet films. I've got a website, puppetpowerfilms.com, and they're usually kind of funny. Is this? Can you hear all right?
Yes.
Yeah. And let me see. This book is called. There's a lot going on next door. This book is called Bombs and Wildflowers. And I only brought one copy, but I got some postcards about how, if you're interested, you can have a look at it. This is just the first paragraph. It's set sort of about 1959 with memories of the 40s. Part 1, London. When she found she had not killed herself, she took a bus home. She was back in her room, and it felt different. It didn't clench round her quite so brown. She caught a glimpse of someone in the mirror. That's me. Or not quite me, because with a new double vision of someone who's just not jumped off Waterloo Bridge, she viewed herself from the outside. And she was surprised. She wasn't as ugly as all that. A girl of 22 with a long face and dark hair. This was Helen. She smiled at Helen, and what was that flash in her eyes? Cheeky. So why shouldn't she have one? Everyone else had one. She'd go out and get one. It was Friday. She'd go tonight. And that's the first paragraph. And then there's a scene, a flashback to, there's a scene, a flashback to childhood in the World War II London bombing. And they used to have these, in the coal cellars, people used to put these air raid shelters, which was a kind of iron cage with a kind of grill, or I think it was called a Morrison or something like that, in the hope that when the bombs came down, they'd sort of survive. Into the mousetrap. Into the mousetrap, said her mother, and she pushed them into the huge metal cage, and the shelter that took up most of the cellar. She moved close to her mother, who said, "Little grey rabbit's here, dear," and hugged her and pulled Nellie's favourite book out of the blankets. And there she was, little grey rabbit in the picture on the cover, in her grey dress, balancing carefully on the big stones in the stream, and the grass wet green behind her. Already Jimmy had found his toy fighter plane and was making it dive bomb the blankets. Eeeeee! Shh, dear, said his mother, gently putting her hand on his arm. Just a moment. They listened. They all knew what to listen for. Silence. No, not quite silence. A vibration. A burr of noise, growing. Then there it was, above the dirty cellar, above the house, up in the sky, but filling it so full that it sagged. The throb of bombers, throb, 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 growing louder, slow, with a beat like when you've got a terrible sore. The whole sky must be swollen, ready to... They waited, knew it was going to fall, waited. Then everywhere the crumbling roar so loud they could hardly hear it because they were inside it. Her mother's arm was round her, steady, no change in pressure, just steady, as if this was normal, this was every day. Crack! Where? Nellie winced. Nellie jerked up, but Jimmy was bouncing, banged his head on the metal top. There they go, he said, our anti-aircraft guns, Dad. That's right, Jimmy, came her father's voice. Get 'em, shouted Jimmy, his eyes brilliant, wide, staring at their mother. Mummy, Nellie, Jimmy, Dad, they held together in an invisible circle, kept out the bomb whistle, crunch, roar. Near and far, rumble, boom, crash, on for how long? A long time, on and on, but it was all something outside. It was all right. It wasn't in their cellar, it was on the other side of the wall. Nellie wasn't afraid. Mum's arm was round her, so Nellie was safe. Even when something enormous cracked nearby, her mother flinched. She never moved the arm that was round Nellie, so Nellie knew it was all right. Off ran little grey rabbit in her clean white collar and cuffs and her basket on her arm. Over the brook she leapt, and then she went into the wood. Nellie, pressed against her mother's body with redness warm inside her, could hear the water in the brook, smell the leaves. But another part of her heard the crunching, uneven, slow rolling. That's in our street, that's... They held tight until the crumbling crash died away. They're further off now, said Mum. Grey Rabbit went into the wood. She kept a very sharp lookout and ran so softly that the leaves underfoot scarcely moved, and the grass hardly felt her weight. Nellie gave a little shiver. Can I read a tiny bit more? This is when she gets to... She always wanted to work in films, like I do, this woman. And she goes to Mexico by cargo ship with a German, and she gets into this crazy Hollywood film company that's working in Mexico making cheap westerns. Quick, script conference at 11, said, can you hear all right? Is it so? Yes. Quick, script conference at 11, said the English accent, and in he rushed, pale, clutching scripts, stinking of cigarettes and used alcohol. You better come too. He grabbed some more papers from an inner office, then hurried out. She followed. And there at last was Ray, big and shining at the head of a large table with a rubble of men all round him. Helen was squeezed in next to Charles, and at last Darlene brought round some coffee, her cantilevered breasts poking close to each in turn. Thank you, murmured Helen, but she could see that Darlene didn't like her. Okay, Ray's big voice stopped the court talk. Next week's shoot, problem. Horses for the goddamn spick extras. Where are we gonna get horses? They don't have nothing but mules down here. I warned you weeks ago, Ray. Should have imported horses from Texas, I said. Okay, Peter. Ray's hand pressed down the clamouring voices. So we use the goddamn mules and the goddamn long shots and close up. You telling me there ain't one single goddamn real horse in this town? It's a one-horse town, muttered Charles. Well, okay, props, that's your baby, said Ray. But how can I make galloping mules look like galloping horses, coarse a voice. Okay, said Ray. Next script, what's that goddamn name? The Last Soldier, said Charles. It still don't have enough jeopardy. It's the 23rd version. I don't give a damn if it's a version number 23,000. You goddamn writers, I don't know why you use goddamn limeys. We come cheap, sniped Charles. You sit in your goddamn fannies playing faggot documentaries. No story, no jeopardy. Look at page 19. Just before the first break for commercial, where's the crisis? Page 38. Second commercial break, no crisis. Page 65, third commercial break, and where's the twist at the end? But I want to show how he felt, the last Dixieland soldier. The war's gone and he's the only one, began Charles, and for a moment Helen liked him better. How many times I told you, Charlie boy, you can't have them at the bottom of, you can have them at the bottom of a pit, quarrelling, tigers prowling, bomber above. Appendix operation on the kitchen table, sneered Charles. Sure, and a murderer on the loose, but still you don't have enough jeopardy, shouted everyone. Helen looked round, amazed. Where did her close-ups of waves fit in with this?